I can't no more. I got the horses in the back, horse stock is attached. Head is matted black, got the bushes black to match.
I think we can all agree that this season has been one of the worst seasons in LeBron James' career. And in my personal opinion, I would go as far as to saying it is the worst season of LeBron James' career. Now, a lot of people may be saying 2011 as they lost against the Dallas Mavericks in an upset where they lost in 6 games, and LeBron James had the worst performance that he's ever had in the playoffs. But I feel like the end result is really what tainted that season, because throughout the whole season, the Miami Heat were fine. Sure, they had a rough start, but they finished very strong, nearly winning 60 games, and they still got to the NBA Finals. Sure, they were in the East, but they still made it there. And I think a lot of people underrate how great that Dallas Mavericks team was leading up to the NBA Finals. But despite all that, in this video, we are going to discuss 4 reasons why the 2019 season was the worst season of LeBron James' career. Now, if you guys like this video, make sure you drop a like. I'm sure a lot of people don't like it, but if you don't like it, make sure you comment your opinions down below. And also subscribe if you're new to the channel, and hit the bell to be notified after each and every video that I post. Now, let's get on to the giveaway real quick, because I know a lot of people have questions about that. Make sure you follow me on Twitter and on Instagram to be entered into the giveaway, and you must DM or at me, or in Instagram's case DM as well, your first and last name, and you will be entered into the giveaway. I'll be doing a drawing in April, on April 15th, and in that giveaway I will be giving away 2 NBA gift cards of $50 each. 2 winners will be assigned, and you will win the gift card. So make sure you guys do those things to be entered into the giveaways. The links for the social media will be down below in the description box. So without further ado, let's get on with this video. Number 4, failed expectations. Now, if we're being frank here, I think a lot of this also has to do with the expectations that people gave him, and a lot of it was unfair, but it does also have to do with LeBron James' play. Going into this season, a lot of people expected the Los Angeles Lakers to be one of the top teams in the Western Conference, as some people went as far to say they could be the 3rd seed and win 50 games, sometimes even over 50 games. But as the season progressed, week by week by week, though they had their moments, I think it became pretty clear that they were just not going to live up to those expectations. And I know a lot of people are going to say injuries. LeBron James got hurt, Lonzo got hurt, Ingram got hurt, also Josh Hart got hurt. And in my opinion, I do think Josh Hart played through some injuries, because his minutes did decrease and his shooting just became abysmal for such a long stretch throughout the season. But I definitely think despite those injuries, a lot of games were winnable even when LeBron was out versus when he was playing. And I'm not going to really delve into that because I've talked about that before, but the expectations, the fact that it went from a 3rd seed with 50 wins to them not even making the playoffs, and honestly the fact that we lowered the expectations gradually throughout the season. I mean, think about it. Going into it, like I said earlier, 3rd seed, 50 wins, and then just a few games later we lower it to, oh, they can be a 5th seed, 4th seed, and then before we even know it, they're struggling to make the playoffs, and people are saying, oh, I cannot picture the playoffs without LeBron James. And now here we are, where LeBron James is being shut down and the Lakers are already confirmed knocked out of the playoff picture. So I definitely think failed expectations has to be a reason why this is one of the worst seasons of LeBron's career. I mean, think about it. LeBron has usually always lived up to the expectations given to him, whether it's to reach the NBA Finals or to compete in the Eastern Conference. LeBron has usually stepped up to the plate. Now, granted, he's in the West, but is that still not an indictment against LeBron James that when he went to the Western Conference, he couldn't live up to the expectations? That's for you guys to decide. Number 3, perceived decline. Now, I carefully worded this topic because a lot of people believe that LeBron James, though he is declining, the decline isn't as rapid as a lot of people say. And I kind of agree with that statement, but I kind of still do see what people are talking about. LeBron James defensively is definitely not what he used to be, even when he tries. And I think a lot of people perceive him not trying as him conserving energy, but even on the offensive side of the ball, he's definitely not what he used to be. His three-point shot this year wasn't that consistent. His free throw ability was just awful. And his overall efficiency from the field, though it was at 50% throughout the season, when you look at the average, that's still really good. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that's bad by any means. But when you look at some of the games when he came back, a lot of those inefficiencies, they were really starting to show at points and moments in the big games. So I definitely think that his efficiency definitely needed work from the overall big perspective, whether it's from the free throw line, from the three-point line, or just from the field. And quite frankly, I do believe a lot of that falls on the management because they didn't get him the right teammates, because we all know you have to surround LeBron James with shooters. That's how he's played throughout his career. And when you have people on the perimeter such as Lonzo, Kuzma, Ingram, though they are very effective players in their own rights and they have their own skill sets, their skill sets are not to spot up shoot threes, and all three of them are kind of below average three-point shooters, just to be kind to them. So I definitely think that LeBron James' team has affected him offensively, but despite that, he still did put up relatively decent offensive numbers. And I use the word decent very loosely when I'm talking about LeBron James numbers, because we all know LeBron James can go out there and average 28, 8, and 8 just rolling out of bed. So I definitely think that LeBron James' offensive numbers, they weren't anything special for LeBron James standards. That's really the point I'm trying to get across there. And when you consider the injury that he suffered, we don't really know the full details and how it affected him on the court, whether he was still playing with it. I mean, there's speculation, but we don't really have any confirmed official diagnosis on the injury. So I definitely think that's something that people need to consider. And quite honestly, when you look at LeBron James this season, though he is playing at an elite level, when you look at his numbers, those numbers aren't really translating to win. So that's something that people need to consider. And honestly, when's the last time that we've looked at LeBron James and said, oh man, the decline is so obvious? We haven't really noticed that. I mean, whether it's 2015 where he shot so bad from three, but people still saw what he did in the NBA Finals, the people said, oh, he's not declining that bad. And then when you look at 2016, though in the regular season, it was pretty tough in some moments, but sure, you could look at how he came back from a 3-1 deficit and people said, oh, the decline is not that rapid. You could look at 2017, averaging a triple-double in the finals and still putting up very good numbers, and despite Kevin Durant winning the finals MVP, people still looked at LeBron James as the best player in the world. Or you could look at the fact that in 2018, he carried that Cleveland Cavaliers roster throughout the playoffs. Though some other players stepped up, I'm not taking any credit from them, but he was the main engine of that roster and dropped 51 on the Golden State Warriors in Game 1. And you could argue if it wasn't for J.R. Smith's mental collapse in Game 1 late in the game, before overtime, they arguably could have won that game, and it would have gone down, even though it still has, as one of the greatest finals performances in NBA history. And when you consider all those moments over the past 5 to 6 seasons that LeBron James has had, a lot of people have said, how can he be on such a rapid decline? He's putting up great numbers, he's playing at such a high level, and he's achieving great results, but now, sure, he's playing at a really high level offensively, because defensively he's not doing any of that whatsoever, but he's not getting the results. And a lot of people are going to contribute that to the decline. They're not even going to look at the roster. So I definitely think the perceived decline of LeBron James' game is definitely at an all-time high. And a lot of people are using that to discredit LeBron James right now. Number 3, Unclear Future. Now, I think this is not just a LeBron James thing, but I definitely think that this is a Los Angeles Lakers thing. Right now, when you look at this Los Angeles Lakers roster, what's the plan going forward for this team? Sure, you could say the Anthony Davis trade, but do you honestly think the Pelicans are going to trade Anthony Davis to the Lakers of all teams when you have other offers on the table, such as the Boston Celtics with Tatum and Brown and the picks? Or you could look at teams such as the Knicks, as they can give you the player that a lot of people are touting to be the next generational talent in Zion Williamson, assuming they get that #1 pick. So I definitely think that there are other packages that the New Orleans Pelicans should consider and look at, because I think that the Los Angeles Lakers are not even on their radar, and rightfully so. And with the Anthony Davis thing out of the way, are we sure that players such as Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, Kyrie Irving, Jimmy Butler will even consider going to the Los Angeles Lakers after all the turmoil and all the controversy that they've had this season, and with reports of players already even saying they don't want to play with LeBron, players such as Jimmy Butler saying that allegedly, or even having players such as Kevin Durant saying that it's tough to play with someone like a LeBron James and a lot of players don't want to play with him? Are we sure that players are going to want to go to the Los Angeles Lakers? And that really limits the options that the Los Angeles Lakers have going into this offseason. And when you consider that LeBron James is not getting any younger, he just suffered arguably the biggest injury of his entire career in his 16th season. That is a huge deal, and it's not like this is a situation where LeBron James can opt out of his contract this coming offseason, or he has one more year, because he didn't just sign a 1 or 2 year deal like he did in previous seasons. He signed a 4-year deal. He has 3 more years left on his contract, and if they don't make a move this offseason, those 3 years could potentially just go in the garbage can. #1, no longer considered the best player in the world. Now, this is more of a subjective topic. I think a lot of people have their own opinions on this, and if I'm just being honest here, I agree with the majority of people saying that LeBron James is no longer the best player in the world. Now, a lot of people are going to say that LeBron James is, but I think most NBA fans that are going to be objective about it, because you have to look at this from a fair point of view. You cannot call a player that did not make the playoffs the best player in the world right now, when you have other players that are dominating the game, players such as Kevin Durant, Giannis, James Harden, Steph Curry, those other players that are putting up great numbers just like LeBron James, that are on winning teams, should be considered for the best player in the world. Now, in my personal opinion, I think the race is among Kevin Durant and Giannis Antetokounmpo, depending on what Giannis does in the postseason. But right now, that crown has to be given to Kevin Durant. And for once, over the past 10 years, we can actually look at LeBron James and say he's not the best player in the world. And honestly, even though it's been a long prime and it's been a long run as the best player in the world, that's a huge hit to LeBron James right now. And that to me is the most damning and the most obvious reason why LeBron James this season has to be the worst year of his entire career. So you guys in the comment section, y'all let me know your opinions on this. Also, you guys don't forget to drop a like down below. Y'all also subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell next to my name to be notified after each and every video that I drop. Also, don't forget about the giveaway. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, or Instagram I should say. And don't forget to DM me your name or at me your name, whatever circumstance it is. And you will be entered into the giveaway for the $50 NBA gift cards. So you guys also have a great day. This is your boy Young Mustard signing out. Peace.